Mambo fam, it's your girl Doll Babe coming to you live from Empire Lounge. And today I'm here with Kai. And Kai, tell us a little about yourself.
I actually am from Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. I am a pediatric nurse. I just live my life very freely.
Yeah, tell us about it. So that's why we're here today, you guys, because I was moved by Kai's story. Like, I met her through Mina, which she's actually here, but she's not on camera. Y'all know who she is. I was so moved by her story that I wanted to interview her, and she said yes. I met her 2 days ago. I was getting my hair done. She got her hair done from the same place, Mystique Beauty Lounge. And Mina pulled up like, yo, I'm here. And then she's like, I'm picking up Kai. And I'm like, oh, the girl you're taking around on a tour, like, showing around Kenya. And she's like, yeah. And then I come out with my video. I'm vlogging, getting my hair done. And then Kai is right there with Mina. And I introduced myself to her right there in camera. So welcoming and warm. What drove me to interview her is she's going to do 4 African countries in 4 weeks. She's already traveled 3. Kenya's her 3rd one. So she's meeting me here to interview today. But it's just crazy how you're doing 4 African countries in 4 weeks. Like like what made you want to do that?
Honestly, I want to say it's probably like more of a spiritual journey, I want to say. But this kind of all started because maybe back like during COVID, we were all like on lockdown. But I didn't really get the chance to really be locked down because I was a nurse.
Yeah.
And in America, I'm actually a travel nurse. And so we had to go and, help out. And we were actually on the front lines. And something like inside of me was like, there's more to life than this. I did not want that to be my life. So just seeing COVID, whatever. Actually, my friend, he encouraged me to do like the ancestry DNA test. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of the ancestry DNA.
Yeah, we have.
But I'm like, yeah, I something in it, like I don't feel connected to the American soil at all.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, he's like, do ancestry DNA. And I guess it was just kind of a thing, something to do while in COVID during lockdown. I did the test. The results came back. And so I was like, you know what? I am going to go visit the countries where I have the most percentage of roots in that country.
So what are the 4 countries?
The 4 countries that I'm going to actually are kind of not connected to my ancestry DNA, but
okay.
But it's like it all kind of still tied in.
Okay.
But one of the countries is Ghana. I am going to Ghana.
Yeah.
And Ghana, for whatever reason, I have been always just really connected to Ghana, but I could never tell you why. But when I did the ancestry DNA, I found out that I have like over 50%. Like root, in Ghana. I said, okay, so I have to go. So I signed up to do a medical mission trip to go to Ghana, but then something kept, like, I couldn't sleep, and it was just like, you can't go back to the motherland and not visit the other countries that you want to go to. So that's how I got to the East African, like countries.
Tour.
So I started off in Ethiopia. Like my religion is like Christianity. And so I started reading. I'm very much like history nerd. Started reading on like their practices and culture in Ethiopia, like how they pretty much do things a lot differently than the rest of the world. So they operate on a different calendar. They are 7 years behind the rest of the world.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, they're 7 years behind. They have 13 months in a year, not 12.
What?
The new year starts September 11th. And like I'm learning all of these things, and I'm like, I have to go see this for myself. And then I got to, I was like, okay, so what's close to like Ethiopia, right? I'm like, okay, Tanzania. I just started doing more research. Tanzania, Kenya. That's how I got like really to these countries over East. Not that I was connected to them by any way, but I think if I dig a little deeper, I actually found that when I went to Ethiopia, they kept saying, like when I was there visiting, it felt home.
Wow.
That felt like out of all the countries I've been to so far, and I haven't been to Ghana yet, but when I went to Ethiopia, and they call it Ethiopia actually. Ethiopia is how you pronounce it.
Tanzania is Tanzania.
Tanzania. Yeah, I was there, and they kept asking me, "Are you Ethiopian?" Like, no, I'm from America. They're like, you look just like us, and I was like, they like, you look like the women walking down the street, and I'm like, okay, can't see it. But then I actually like toured the city of Addis Ababa, and I was like actually looking at the women. I had the scarf on my head because they made you cover up because of the churches, and they were actually doing mass. I was going to the churches. I had a scarf. I covered up like how the women, and I looked the same facial features.
Wow.
The long, like my face is pretty, like the long bridge of the nose looked just like them.
Wow.
It was even down to the dimples.
Wow.
And so I called home to my friend and I said, they keep asking me, am I from here? And this is not like the first time. It was a bunch of people, like just everywhere I would go would ask me, are you from here? Are you from here? And I'm like, no. And then finally I just started to say yes because I am. And then the way they started to treat me when I would say yes, I was like, they're like, oh, my sister.
Yeah,
and it was just so.
I do that here too. I ain't gonna hold you.
So
Kenyan subs, I do that here. I'm like, yes, I'm Kenyan. Call me Kikuyu tribe, whatever. Like, I am one of y'all.
So yeah, it did that. Started there first, and I'm glad that I saw that first. Learned the history. Like, it's truly Ethiopia is like the birth, or they call it the origin of mankind.
And I thought it was Kenya.
So it's
not Kenya.
No, the first human life was found in Ethiopia. Lucy, the Homo sapien was found.
I gotta do my research Ethiopia. Because Kenya. I heard Kenya is the womb of the world.
Also, I honestly feel like all African countries, like what I've been learning just by being on this journey, is that all roads lead back to Africa.
Yeah.
Like that's truly what I've been learning. Yeah. Whether they say they are the origin or Kenya say everything that I have just been like, everything leads back to Africa. No matter where you're from in this world, this country, but it comes back here. Like life started on this continent. We can all agree on that. Yes. So that's just kind of how that. Yeah. And then I went to Tanzania from Ethiopia. I just wanted to see the beautiful beaches.
The beaches. Oh. Zanzibar.
Zanzibar is like the most pristine beaches I've ever seen.
Really?
Ever. Clear water. Like you can literally see through the water. Like, and I mean, the beaches in America are not like that.
No, not at all.
Not like that.
You gotta go far just to experience.
Yes.
Kidogo, a little bit of that.
It was getting, and so then I started learning, like picking up on some of the Swahili language. And like, this is just me being small-minded. But of course, Hakuna Matata, we all know Lion King, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
My favorite Disney movie.
I really didn't know they said that.
Me neither. I didn't know it was Swahili till I got here.
I had no idea. And then I got here and I was like, Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so then I just started going, right? Like, start picking up on it. And when they say that, that's true. Like, they live.
That's their motto. They live by that.
Stress-free. Like, I was going outside every morning, picking the fruit from the tree and like taking it to the
Tanzania.
Tanzania, and like taking it, and they would cut it up for me, and I was like eating. So whether I wanted mango or banana or papaya, and I was like, my heart.
The simplicity of it. Like, it's just like in the States, we got to go to the grocery store just to get some fruit, and it's not even natural. It has pesticides on it. And here, you could just pick it from a tree.
Bro. I was telling them, like, even the watermelon that we were eating, ours, and they're seedless.
Yes. That's not real.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Not real. And I'm
genetically
eating the
modified.
And he's like, wait, you guys don't have, like, they were so shocked that I was telling them this, like, I'm convinced this is the right way. This is the right way. And so, again, just being on this journey has been amazing. Then I come here to Kenya again, just on my little journey, not even knowing what I hit me up maybe like a day before I arrived. It was like, oh, I know I was supposed to contact somebody here. And the warm soul, and then I met you. Like, it was just, everything has just been divinely, like, just in line, in order. And I mean, I'm sure when I go to Ghana, it'll be the same way. But yeah, no, this journey has just been very healing, for sure. I definitely believe that it was a spiritual, like, it was the reason why I had to come to see what this was all about.
So you'll definitely be back.
Oh, for sure.
Is this somewhere that you want to make your home?
So again, I have not been to Ghana yet. Yeah. Because I leave to go there.
Africa in general, my bad.
It is Ghana.
Okay.
And so I do feel, again, connected to that place, and I can't say I don't know why anymore, because now I do know why. I'm from there, so it could be a reason why, like, I'm want to go back.
Something's drawing you there.
I am looking to apply for, like, dual citizenship. There, and to, like, start a business, have some, like, property, some land there. I really want to raise my children there, like, I mean, just so they can have that, like, experience and stuff. So I think that would be where I would kind of, like, land. And I've been saying this, though, by the year 2030, that would be.
That's your home.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. That's gonna be it.
I love the planning. I love it.
That is gonna be it.
That's important to plan to move across the world from where you're at.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah. It's far from Ghana, but no, nothing in America really is like, I know that's where I started. Obviously, I was born, my family is there, but nothing that I can see that's keeping me there. Nothing. I was also told too that like although I do like travel nursing, you know, like in the States, and I mean you can make like money there, but I was also told that I was a healer.
Wow.
But I would not heal people through nursing. Someone told me that when I went to Tanzania.
And so what do you think? If it's not through nursing, how are you gonna heal?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I like told my friends about it. I was like, "What do you guys think about this?" And they were like, "I mean, maybe your story could just touch somebody. Even just the encounters that you have with people. Like, we know you love children, so like the encounters that you may have with children, you may touch their life in a way to make them want to do something."
Just met my daughter, and she came in. She's very introverted and very like reserved at first, and she just literally hugged her.
So I think that could be something that this lady, she told me, and she was like a healer woman. I forgot what they call it in that culture. And she just like touched
Ethiopia?
my hand. Tanzania. Yep, she told me that. And I was like, wow. And it's really crazy because I'm actually in school studying, getting my doctorate degree in nursing. Right?
Dr.
Like
Kai coming through.
I finished in like 2 years, and
congrats
to hear
to
this, thank you. But to hear this lady say that that would not be my purpose.
Your way
like that's not where my purpose lies. And I was like, I've been on this journey for so long. Like, what do you mean? And she's like, you may think that's how that comes because you are a healer, but you may think that that's your way of doing it, but that's not going to be like how you leave your mark on this world. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Now I'm like really trying to tap in and to see like, okay, now I need a discerning spirit. Like, what am I supposed to be doing? But you know what? I'm just going to let go. Let God do whatever
let
he
go and let God.
Yes, like do whatever he does.
I could say your story is definitely going to impact a lot of people. For you to be traveling to 4 African countries in 4 weeks. Like how did like you told us the how and why. It's just like how did you prepare for that journey?
Honestly, it all kind of just fell in my lap. I didn't really like prep. My friends they just asked me the same thing, like, did you go through somebody, the book? Like, how did this happen?
How did it all?
No, the journey, like, to just prepare to come over here truly kind of just fell into my lap. Knew that I wanted to come. So, I mean, I worked endlessly to obviously pay for it, to have the finances and the resources, but also to set myself up if I decided to stay a couple months.
Wow.
That I'll have like some savings.
Dang, girl, you can
I'm
stay a couple months.
I'm very much prepared to do so.
Wow.
Because I didn't know how I would feel when I got here, and I knew I probably would be called to stay.
Yes.
But no, honestly, I looked through the power of social media. Social media is very, very, very powerful because you can obviously like look on TikTok to see like what's the best places to stay or things like that. But every tour guide or whoever that I found, truly, I think like was sent to me. Went to Ethiopia. I toured the Lower Omo Valley, so the tribes in the Lower Omo Valley. Okay. You can go through a million different tour companies, right? Yeah. I just so happened to, I don't even know how I found this. I was looking at a different tour company for this Lower Omo Valley because they were said the reputation for those tribes that they can be violent, they're not welcoming, you know, and things like that. And so I was looking through one tour company, they were entirely booked.
Wow.
And it was like a recommend, like, you know how they could say I recommend somebody else on like TripAdvisor. So I contacted this other company, immediately responded. He immediately responded. What I found out was he's actually a local, a native of the Lower Omo Valley.
I feel like that's the best way to get
it was the
good
best.
grasp of this country is through someone who lives it, who lives in this country.
It was the best. He started this company up during COVID. Nice. But then COVID happened, and so he wasn't having. So like I think I was maybe like his like 4th or 5th, like maybe customer, you know, like to tour. And when I say it was the best experience because he was a native, like me going into those tribes, he was already well connected. So I wasn't just going and like taking pictures.
Ethiopia.
Yes. And like,
is that right? Ethiopia?
Ethiopia, yes. Ethiopia. Like I was not just going and taking pictures and like treating them like they were just like something to be on camera. No. I was meeting the chief of these tribes because of him. Yes. And I was like, and like some certain tribes, they like gave me blessings to come in before. And I was like, I don't think that experience would have been the same had it been somebody else. Like when you go through these big tour companies, I don't think it would have been the same. So not only that, like he took me to his family owned restaurant and how he grew up. He showed me how he grew up in the community of Jinka. And
you were deep into that culture.
I was
very
deep,
diverse,
very deep, and got to go into these different tribes, and he's explaining.
We'll put his at down. We're gonna put his at in the description, you guys. He sounds really good.
was the best. He was the best. And even when I like left the 3-day tour from the Lower Omo Valley, I took a flight back to Addis Ababa. In the hotel that I was gonna stay at, they did not have my reservation. And I thought I reserved it or whatever. He's like, let me translate for you.
Oh, nice.
So he gets on the phone, he called them. He were able to get me like a lower rate. Wow. And what I was actually saw online, like he's like, take care of my sister. Like that. And from that, I was like, yeah, no, I had the best time. I got to taste their food, like everything. So it was very, very, very cultural. And then when I went to Tanzania, I actually TikTok again. Again, you can scroll through a million different TikToks, right? So, but my purpose was to find a Black woman. Wow. I wanted to find a Black woman to experience that life with, like to see, like, even if she was a local of Tanzania or if she was somebody else. Again, I was her first customer. She was just starting up her like tour guide. She goes to Tanzania. She's from France. Oh. She goes to, but she's Black. Yeah. Her mother was born in Ghana, but they live in France. She comes to Tanzania every, I think, holiday or something. Okay. And so we were kind of like trial and error each other. She set me up with like the most, like, she's been there enough times to know the locals there, the drivers. It was amazing. So
you had everything.
Very much personal experience. And I was telling her, like, when I like to travel, I do like to do touristy things, but I also like to be immersed in the culture. Yeah. So, I mean, she like set me up with like the girls' orphanage school, and I got to sit and like read. I was reading a Swahili book. Like, wow. I don't even speak Swahili, but I picked up on the culture and like doing that at the orphanage, and like it was just beautiful. Then like meeting her in person, you can feel her presence, her energy. Beautiful. Got here to,
what's her name?
To Kenya. Her name is Ayana.
Ayana. Okay,
Ayana. I'll plug her too. Ayana Zanzibar. If you want to go, she's the best. Oh. Then when I got here to Kenya, I actually went to college with a girl. Her name is Adriana. She lives here. Yeah, she lives here in Nairobi now. And so I just was, and she's actually from Chicago too. So.
I went skating with her the other weekend.
Yeah. So yeah, she's from Chicago too, and we met in Hampton. We went to Hampton University in Virginia. Okay. I was like, oh, I remember she lived here, so I like hit her up. But she's not here currently. She's like, I won't be here while you're here, but take this contact information. Wow, and she contacted me with Mina. And I'm texting me literally a day before it's time for me to arrive. Like, hey, look, hope she's nice. But in my head, like, I know somebody wouldn't like make sure that I'm like, I know that you would make sure I'm good, you know. And so that's really how I live. I know that the people that I'm connected to will also make sure that I'm good too, and vice versa. Like, I would never put you in harm's way. I would never, you know. And so then I met Mina, then I met you. Like, it's just been so like, and then when I go to Ghana, like, I don't know these nurses that I'm going to go with.
So you're going to Ghana. So it all started from Ghana, right?
From Ghana. It started because I was going to go on a medical mission trip, which I am still going to go on this medical mission trip. I just took the time beforehand to do my own vacation. But yeah, so nurses, they are from the States. But we are going to go together as a team of nurses to Ghana to give back.
How many nurses?
It's 6 of us. 6. And then we have like co-leaders in Ghana. Oh, wow. That we're going to be working with, like organizations that we're going to be working with, doing health screenings. Actually, which is really crazy. I got picked to speak at a conference, an international conference.
What?
About nursing school. Like, I don't know how this.
You have your speech together?
No.
Girl.
They just told me this.
When?
Like 2 days ago.
Oh my god.
I'm on the safari. I got a text like, hey.
Congrats to you.
We picked you. Like, they made this beautiful flyer, and I was like, okay. I gotta see it. Like, wow. And so, yeah, so I'm actually going to be one of the speakers at this international conference, just speaking about nursing school and the challenges that I faced in nursing school and how I like overcame them. And pretty much just bridging the gap between like, you know, international global health nursing with the United States and Ghana and like different countries, and how we can all work together as like future healthcare leaders. So I'm really excited about that.
That's deep.
Because that just fell in my lap too.
Definitely. That is a part of your purpose for sure.
Yeah, it's just been
so like your voice is needing to be heard.
Thinking that's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, but you're being heard here. You're gonna be heard there.
I'm very not reserved. I am outgoing. Like I love meeting people, talking to people. But I also never felt like my story needed to be told.
Wow, it does.
This has been silenced a long time. Wow. It's just like, I'm just gonna go. I like to kind of just make my own little strides, my own way, and not like go in different paths, but in my own little way. Not, like in the big, be the loudest in the crowd, like I always like to say that I want to be remembered, like I want to be loved very deeply and not widely. Like if there's a lot of people who like love me, right? Like I don't want to be famous.
Nothing shallow based,
I don't want to be celebrity, like none of those things, but the people that I do know, I would rather be loved very deeply by those people.
I agree.
Like that's
I totally agree. And I feel like your story will touch those girls that are looking, just like you were looking on TikTok and everything, for a Black woman to represent the culture, the way that you can travel through that country. And you're looking for someone like you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who did it like me in these countries? Yeah. And now somebody's going to look at you and say she did it, and I'm going to do it like her.
And to be safe and just to be by yourself, like as a female solo traveler.
Traveling by yourself. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that. Because I never did. I'm actually going to take my first trip back to the States. Nobody knows yet. But you guys, I'm going to take my first trip back to the States by myself. And like, tell me, like, what should I and just any Black woman prepare themselves for?
Be very obviously hyper vigilant, right? Like, because you are alone.
That's hard for me. I'd be in La La Land.
But I mean, I think coming from a bigger city though, like we're always just kind of aware of our surroundings all the time, so that was easier for me. But like little tips and things that like people has told me along the way, obviously get a little, like I got a little alarm on my keychain just in case, right? Like I will beep real quick. You too close, get away, right? Like, but I haven't had to use it. Actually, coming over here, and I travel a lot by myself. But coming here to Africa, I felt the safest I've ever felt.
Say that again.
I felt the safest I've ever felt traveling to this country, like truly. And it's places that I've been to in America, as a travel nurse, like by myself, and I haven't felt safe. But this is like the safest I've been. Just little tips like get a door stopper alarm if you know somebody's coming into your room or something like that. Always obviously let somebody know like where you're at. One of the things, the newer things now, like if you have an Apple phone, like I had AirTag. And my friend brought me an AirTag, and I was able to like keep it with me.
What's an AirTag?
It's like a little tracker locator. Nice. If you have an iPhone, like, and I was able to keep it with me, but I was able to ping my location to someone back at home, so they always know. It's another way of just sharing your location. It's like newer things like that. Also, just universal language. What I found out is the universal language everywhere you go is a smile. So like.
Oh, that's nice.
Even if you don't know the language, like you don't know how to speak, if you're smiling, they're gonna know that you're friendly, right?
Yeah.
Or they're gonna know is
body language.
Yeah, body language. They can either go one or two ways. Like, okay, we can try to take advantage of her, but kind of like me aware, like I'm not, about to take advantage of me.
I'm open, but I'm not open like that.
Right.
Like I'm welcoming,
right?
But I'm still reserved in that way.
So, people that you're passing, first thing I do when I get to every country, how do you say like the basic words, right? Like how do you say hello? How do you say thank you? Like those go, please and thank you, right? Like we taught that, like goes a long way, and it's been working for me.
Yeah,
honestly, it's been working.
And you spent a week in each country, right?
So I spent a week. So I spent the week in each country, and then Ghana I'll go to for the longest. Let's
what
see.
Words in Ethiopia?
You say Nagaya to say thank you, right? Amharic language. Amharic, yeah. So that's their natural like language, and they have like combined Muslim and Orthodox Christian together, and that's the Amharic language. Nagaya, and I tell you, injera is probably like the best food I've ever had.
Oh wow!
Injera is really good, but that's like
I never heard.
It's their native dish that's made from like sorghum bean or teff.
Wow.
And it's like a bread, like a dough that they make, and you eat it with like beans or lentils or like.
We just love beans and rice. Just Black people.
I learned that.
We always have that in every dish. It could be said something different, but it's gonna be the same layout.
And it was so good. So I learned I was trying to write everything down, but it was really cool. And then of course I get and learn Swahili, and I was like, oh, like okay, it's cool, Jumbo. Karibu. Like I kind of picked up on some things. Yeah,
but you did in that short amount of time. That's
good. Like Asante Sana. Like
Asante Sana.
So yeah, I'm just literally like learning different things. So I just know amazing. That try to learn like little languages, and then also too, I mean, if you are like into like the nightlife, if you want to go out. I would say truly like try to find that one person that you know that maybe can translate for you in that country that you know that you feel safe with, right? So like when I went to Ethiopia, like if I wanted to go, I'm sure I could have called Minaloo like, hey, tell me, you know, and he would have been
that's nice
on speed dial,
you
like
have somebody,
you know. So I find somebody that you could connect with, and typically that's pretty easy if you can, like, if your spirit is
open to it,
you'll
receive it. God will bring it to you.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
I'm a believer of that as well.
That's honestly my travel tips. I don't have like the big long list. Like I don't do the like, I mean, I do safety for a Black girl, but nothing like stay inside a tent. No, I don't have the tips, and I know people do those things, but no, I just kind of like freely go, and I'm not saying that you should not be, you know, aware and safe, but I just kind of just go
with the flow.
Yeah, I really do. I really do, honestly.
So y'all, I told y'all Mina was with us, and she here on the side. She always be looking out for me, checking the camera. So you already seen our interview together. If you haven't, the interview is right there. You did, and she quick. Okay, so Kenya, you were here in Jambo and Sasapoa. So I remember you telling me that you picked up a piece of art in each country. Like that's your thing. Like that's your souvenirs from each country.
So funny because I actually really was not bringing anything back home.
Oh wow!
With me because I packed everything in a carry-on suitcase.
Wow! So just one suitcase, girl.
Yeah, in a travel backpack,
and maybe even longer.
Yeah, because I might say. So I packed everything in like this carry-on suitcase and then this travel backpack that I have, and like my little purse.
You are a traveler,
which is crazy because and I always feel like you pack the essentials and then you just pick up the rest wherever you are.
You're right. That is the way to do it.
So, and the crazy thing is, I thought I overpacked for this trip, but I thought I overpacked, but I was like, you know, I'm not bringing anything home. I don't have any space. And then my cousin, she was like, hey, she visited South Africa before and she lost a piece of her artwork, and so she's like, when you go, can you get me something?
That's nice.
And I was like, okay, but she lucky it was her birthday. So I was like, I'll get you something. Started to like actually look at the pieces, and I started it in Ethiopia. Like I started to look, and I was like, these are very intricate.
Yes.
The local artists here, like this is something that I can't find online, or this is something that I can't find on Amazon, you know. And then I started like, again, I'm listening to what the energy and the spirit tells me, like, stimulate the economy here, right? Like you have your American dollar, right? But turn your American dollar into their local currency, right? And stimulate and like give back in that way, and that's your way of like giving back. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm listening. I'm picking up on these
touching
things.
someone while you're there. Yes. Even that short amount of time, you helped someone,
and so that's back. And that's what it started to do. So I was going to these markets, and like, of course, a lot of different artwork.
Yes,
and I'm like, for whatever reason, I've been finding truly the local persons like who have just been painting. Like in the market of like Tanzania, when I went, I actually saw him painting the painting, and I was like, okay, I wanna give, you know, like to you and help you with the painting. And so I was like, you know what, maybe that'll be a thing. You can like pick up each painting, and I mean, I love collecting like African artwork. I love African women, Black women, like African elephant is my favorite. So like, you know, so I'm like, maybe you can take these canvases back home. You can roll them up. This can be rolled up, right? This can do. And that's how I started like collecting them. So I mean, I'm sure I'll have like 4 or 5 pieces of artwork when I leave.
And they're beautiful. Beautiful work.
And they were like actually signing their names on the bottom of it. So I know this was
so
authentic pieces of work. And what I would do with these things, I mean, I can hang them up in my home, but now I'm just kind of like, maybe the spirit was telling me like, give it away at America, but keep it for myself.
Did you get any for your cousin?
I did. I got her one, the one that she did like. But I mean, she's the outside of the, you know. But I'm like, maybe that would be my way of, you know, like I know people who love art. Like I know artists. A lot of my friends are artists, photographers, models, and things. So I'm like, okay, you guys may like these things, right? Like, and I'm into nursing. Not that I don't like them, but still. But yes, no, beautiful, beautiful pieces of work. That's good. I was able to like find these people, and when I gave them, and I knew this was the right thing to do, because when I like gave them their money in their currency, the shillings or the birr, which is in Ethiopia,
the
birr, that's their currency. But when I gave it to them, they were so appreciative. Like it was almost like they probably sitting in this market every day trying to sell their artwork, right? and like maybe some people will buy it, maybe some people won't buy it, right? Like, exchanged and everything, and I didn't feel like they were trying to like shortchange me or anything.
Wow.
I did, because when you see a tourist, they can tell I stick out, right? Yeah. They're like, oh, I want to charge you this much, $100, and you're like, that don't really cost that much, right? No, these paintings were like cheaper in their money. They're like, no, I promise you,
they were authentic, and they were wow.
And I was like, I knew this was the right thing to do, and just to see their like gratefulness of me giving them money to local, they're like, oh, this is gonna help feed my family and things like that. And I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. To see the creativity of Africa is like amazing.
Yeah. Like you said, everything stems from here.
Yes.
Like the creativeness here, the culture, the music, the food.
I love it.
Have you had any, like, you were saying earlier that you weren't getting charged. We call it here in Kenya Mzungu prices. Like, Mzungu means foreigner. So like when I use my accent or I'll talk in, my normal voice, people will start to be like, charge us Mzungu prices. And I had a difficulty with that as far as bargaining. So the countries you were in up to now, you didn't have those issues.
I did not have those issues, but again, I think there's because of the people that I came in contact with.
You were in your divine purpose, girl. Everything was just getting drawn to you.
Like, they literally, like I said, in Ethiopia, the lady, I'm sure she could have charged me. Yeah. I was only staying for 2 nights, right? Yeah. Like, I'm sure she could have charged me $200 a night or something like that. Like, half the price, $70 a night. Like, all because he called and was speaking in his language, in their language, and they were able to understand each other. And
communicate
like,
better,
take care of her. Yeah. Right? And I heard that part because I was like, oh, okay. Like, he's saying, like, okay. And he was like, I got you.
It's around genuine
people, and truly, when I think when you have that type of spirit, though, that will be drawn to you.
Yeah.
So I haven't. Nothing has been like. I mean, I stayed at an all-inclusive resort, but even like the when I would go out to the local market, I still had the shillings and things like that. I mean, even when we were on the beach, they were trying to like, sell
coconuts and
I noticed
snacks.
So, black girl just sitting there by myself, right? The other foreigners of the other countries, the British, maybe the Europeans. I don't know if I can say white people on
That's
on camera.
funny. Mina said the same thing. But I don't know. You can say white people.
I noticed though, they were upselling them. I noticed it, and so like I would try to
people gotta pay their child.
Man, it happened because this lady comes and she's trying to sell me like soap and this beautiful perfume that smells amazing, guys. Chef kiss.
Did you get it?
I did.
Nice.
And like two for 20,000 shillings or something like that in their currency. And I was like, well, I don't want 2 of these, but can I get 1 and 1?
2 for 20,000 shillings?
Yeah, 20. It was something 2 for 20 shillings. Different from
Tanzania.
The
Oh, the Tanzania shilling is different from Kenya.
They have a total different currency. Okay. They are called shillings, but it's different.
Okay. Lady was selling 2 for 20.
2 for 20 or something like that. I'm gonna just say 2 for 20, right? And that's what she came back and told me. I'm smelling all of it, taking it all out. Like, oh, what soap helps with this, right? What soap helps with your skin? She's like, oh, yeah. Give it to me. So I asked her, can I do 1 and 1? She's like, yeah, sure. Literally right next to me is some white people, and she's like, 2 for 40,000.
Oh. You're like, you know what?
I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm cool, because I'm just going about my business. But I saw that, and I'm thinking like, okay. I don't know if they're maybe not be too fond of them, but what I noticed is that like their social awareness, facial awareness is not present at all. So it's like they come, they invade spaces a lot. And they invade it so much that it's like people are like, okay, well, since you're here, then I'm gonna try to, get my money while I can type thing. But for me, it was more so like, I'm sure they saw I was a black girl. They're like, okay, hey, like, I'm sure they're like, you're one of us. Yeah. So let me just, and I was like,
sell you at the regular price.
Like, yeah, like probably even lower, because even the tour guide was like, oh, that was a good deal. And I was like,
nice. Oh, wow.
But the perfume smells so good.
Any culture shocks? Have you had any culture shocks so far?
I felt so at home. I don't even know. Like, I mean, the biggest probably is like the language barrier, right? But again, I've noticed that the universal language is a smile. So not really there. I can say in Ethiopia, when I was visiting the Lower Omo Valley, those tribes, the biggest culture shock is that their way of life, what we would consider maybe primitive or barbaric, right? Like to them, that is really their normal way of life. And then I started to think like maybe they're doing something right and we're doing something wrong. Like so the children are not like clothed. So and the women are not like clothed from the top up. So they are exposed, right? And before I posted like the pictures online, I did ask for consent, like, hey, can I post your, child online? Because they are really naked. Good. So to us in the Western culture, for sure, it's like put some clothes on that child. Yeah, like they're not supposed to be naked, or put an emoji over something over their private part.
Because they sexualize everything.
And
everything's so hypersexual in the States.
It
and
is.
It's like that's our natural state to be naked.
So when she said pretty much in so many words, like if you are gonna post it, I'd rather you show like the it's like in its natural state.
Wow.
Like show it's authentic. If you're gonna tell a story about our tribe, pretty much like show it, but then also explain the story behind it, because I'm sure you're gonna get some questions of why is that kid naked?
Wow.
And lo and behold, I posted on Instagram.
Girl,
why is that child naked? You at least could have put an emoji over his private part.
Wow.
And that was my duty to tell them, like,
this is
in their culture, they don't. I did ask for consent, but in their culture, they don't even know that they're naked.
Yeah,
they don't know what clothes is.
The freedom, the
clothes of like the
idea. Imagine.
Yeah, like the idea of having clothes was something like probably like the Western culture came up with to make money.
Yes. I know they definitely came up with bras to make money, because they definitely don't need those.
Yeesh. And so that was like a big culture shock to see, like, wow, like these kids are free. And it's a reason behind why some kids are clothed at a certain age, and while like the babies, they are not clothed at all.
Wow.
It's
part
like
of the culture.
It's a part of their culture. Wow. It's part of their initiation ceremony as young boys. Like just to learn that stuff was just beautiful. And then the last one that I learned was the tribe, the Mercy tribe. Mercy or Mercy, one of those. I forgot how to say it, but and that's the tribe where the women wear the lip plates, and they put they make a clay plate, plate it, and they pierce their lip, and they put the plate inside of their lip. And I don't know if everybody's ever seen the movie Black Panther.
Oh yes,
they were on there.
Yeah,
they were on there, and I'm like, oh, I want to see those people. So I went to go visit them, and actually, they're known to be quote unquote violent people. No, you remember earlier when I said I was meeting the chief of the tribe? I met the chief of that tribe, and they will actually have to give you a blessing before you come inside. You can't come in because they said most people treat them as if they're like animals in a zoo. And so they come in to try to like take the pictures, post it online. They don't interact with them. Oh, no. They don't, and that's why they don't want people there.
Yeah.
And they said they try to like ward off spirits and energies because so many people can come into their tribe. And so, but to see those people, I asked the significance of the lip plate. And surprisingly, it was because they started piercing their lip because they wanted to make themselves the least attractive to the colonizers. Wow. So people wouldn't come and steal their women to like try to mate with them or steal them or sell them into slavery, or whatever they would do.
Yeah.
And so they would try to like make themselves less unattractive to people. And so they started piercing their face, their lips, their ears.
Wow.
And they would then over time it has became a symbol of beauty in their tribe.
They changed it to that. That's amazing.
So the big lip plate is of the woman, they're supposed to be like the most beautiful to the husband, right? Yeah. And actually the plate serves as a plate for the husband to eat off of.
Wow.
So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's
amazing.
Like that's how it like over time it like came.
It evolved.
It evolved because like people like they realized people stopped colonizing. Like colonizing.
Yeah.
Them. You like look at it like the plant actually is really intricate. Like I got one. They gave me one to take home with me.
Oh, they got to see it.
Oh, it's beautiful. And so like it is very very intricate and how they create them, and then how to fit. And each plate is a different size. Your plate wouldn't be my plate, and my plate wouldn't be Mina's plate. Like it has to fit our face. Over time, I think the young girls now of the tribe, they said that's not beauty to them. They don't want to do it anymore. So they pierce their ears, and now you've seen like the big like gauges in the ears. So now they pierce their ears, but the older like elders of the tribe has the big, and so now they'll wear them for like ceremonial purposes. But yeah, they just have like this gauge of like
It's
in their lips.
beautiful.
That was very
Beauty is in
culture
the eye of the
psychic.
beholder.
Yeah, it was very culture psychic. But when they put
Yes.
the plate in, they look actually different. It was almost like
Yeah.
when they take the plate out, you be like, like very skeptical, like
Yeah.
this looks like it hurts, right?
Yeah.
And yep, but over time they stretch their lip.
I would love to see
So
that
that
in
was
person.
very like the tribes. I think honestly, the tribes, learning about them in the
Mhm.
lower Omo Valley was like a big culture shock, but it was good. It was so good to get that information. It was so good because it's like I feel as though if more people, more Black people would start touring those places and learning about the culture, it wouldn't be as taboo to us, right? And if Black people start going, they can tell their own story, right? They can tell their story about them. But if we start going, like, when we can
change the narrative,
we would change the narrative and start telling the truth.
Yes, our voices will be heard.
We would tell the truth, and
people,
they'll go there and be like, yeah, they're very violent, they're very primitive, they're very barbaric. Yeah, because you wasn't welcome.
And then the Black people like, oh, I'm not gonna go there because of what we heard on or seen online. But you need to go there yourself to get that experience.
And I'm so glad I went.
And I'm glad you did too, because your story will be
that,
shown. Yeah.
and I was like, wow, like I'm ready to like change that. Like, no, they're not violent. Yes. No, they're not this. You know, and like even in the movie Black Panther, they talked about they showed these tribes actually, all of those tribes. That movie was inspired by the tribes in the lower Omo Valley, but they never gave name to them on the movie.
Gave credit.
They never gave the credit to them. And I was like, wow, okay, well, this is nice, you know, but it makes it is so important to like go like learn that history, and I mean even learn how like why they're still around after thousands and thousands of years. They have to be doing something right.
For sure.
Right? Like, and then what I found out is their communities were never even touched by COVID. Never even knew that COVID was a thing.
They're eating, they're living right, they're isolated.
They don't know their birthdays. They truly told me like they just live and just die. Like that's it. Like they don't know like when they were born. They don't know birthdays. They don't keep track of those things that we all like keep track
fixate
of.
ourselves over.
Yeah, no, it's like no. We know the plants to heal ourselves. We know what to eat, what not to eat. We know how to sustain our economy. We know how to keep it with it. Like very communal people.
Yes,
and they have been living for years this way. That was amazing to just see, honestly. That was really good.
Beautiful. So as the sun's going down, you guys, I'm gonna ask you one more question, Kai. So after all your experiences and all the 4 Africa, well, not yet all of them. We got to catch up with you with Ghana for sure. But after the other African countries, like what would you leave anyone looking at you, like a Black girl looking at you, a Black young girl looking at you, for advice or like something to give them that little extra push to do what you did?
Honestly, I think how I like started this journey and continue to be on my journey, 2 things actually.
Okay.
When I woke up on my 30th birthday, like I just turned 30 like a couple months ago. Almost about to be 31. But I woke up and I just said, like I just put it out there and it's like, God, show me how good life can get. Right? When you put something like that out there in the atmosphere, like you'll just watch all the things return to you good, like truly good. Don't think negative. Don't think, you know. And when I started to change the way that I thought, things started to happen. Because this is truly like a experience of a lifetime doing something like this.
Yeah.
And by myself. That's number 1. And number 2, I mean, we've been healing on all ends.
Yes.
So I've been going to therapy a lot. So we've been healing. And one thing that my therapist told me was if you're gonna do something, like do it scared, do it afraid.
My girl Mina said that too.
Do it scared. Do it scared.
That's my quote, not her therapist's quote. That's Mina's quote. You just do it scared.
Do it scared and do it afraid. Like don't be afraid of like if you take the risk and you're gonna fall, right? Like don't care who's gonna be behind you to catch you. Like don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
Just do it anyways. And the worst thing that you could ever do to yourself is to not become the person who you were meant to be in this lifetime when you don't do something. So when I heard that, I was just kind of like, okay. I found my escape route.
And ran with it.
I took it and ran with it, and I'm here in Africa, like touring. And honestly, it has been the journey of a lifetime. It really has.
I believe it.
I do feel as though this was me, kind of like coming, scoping out the land first, seeing what I need to see, and then make my decision to come back.
Yeah.
And to be, you know, actually now a native, or back to the motherland, or back to where I'm from. Like,
as soon as you said come back, boop, the lights
like,
came on.
come back, or
come back.
You know, like, just to be in my natural, like, state. That's how I felt. You know, so that is what I have to leave everyone with.
That's
Do
amazing.
it scared. Do not be like, don't worry. Don't worry. What they say, Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata, y'all.
Like, don't worry. Like, what's gonna happen? What's for you is meant for you.
What's for you is meant for you.
It's gonna be for you. Agree with you. Whether you try to change the narrative, it's still gonna be for you. Yes. No matter what the outcome is. It's yours. And so that's kind of how I chose to live my life now, on this little spiritual awakening journey. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm here, and I'm really excited to go back and tell everybody what I've learned. Wow, that's beautiful. And I didn't know that it would come through me. I had no idea.
Yeah. You never do.
I had no idea, because I don't even like to. I like to really be in my bubble, go to work and go home.
Yeah.
Make my coins and go home. Like, that's me. But now that I'm like,
that's how we were taught and conditioned to be very. We're not communal. We're not social with others. Only on social media. And in real life, you can walk past somebody you follow, and it's just
even, like say hi.
It's so isolated. But like, when you really give into, like you said, the spirit and God and the round, like, it will bring you towards a light and a being that you never were before.
It was so,
or you always were, but you were.
It's so funny that you say that. Like, so Dr. Seuss is like my favorite work of art. Let me tell you. I know this may sound crazy, y'all.
I do like some Dr. Seuss.
But Dr. Seuss, like the book of The Places You'll Go.
Okay.
Like, that's literally my favorite work of art. And it's like
The Places You'll Go.
All the Places You'll Go. Yeah, like, beautiful book. And for whatever reason, like, every time I will go back to this book and like see if my life is like mirroring what the book is saying, like in this poem, right? And so funny, on this journey, it was a part in the book that said, like, you'll come to this place and it'll be like, he called it the waiting place, right? And everybody gets stuck there. Everybody gets stuck there. You get stuck waiting for anything, and you just get so stuck you don't even know how to get out of it.
Wow.
But at the end of that poem stanza, it says, like, that place is not for you. Like, you're not going to be in the waiting place, right? And I'm like, okay. Like, and another part of it says, like, don't worry, don't stew, like, just go and you'll start happening too. Okay. So clearly I just need to go.
Yeah.
And like, life will just start happening. And I felt like this was me getting out of that waiting place. Because at home, I mean, you do go through just emotions of going to work, going to school, going home.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
it's
nothing,
program.
nothing
it's
like
all
this. You're very much
same
programmed.
routine. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to get out of it. And I was like, my escape route is Africa. I know it. That's honestly how I got here. I woke up, it's Africa. So then you say, like, did you plan?
Yeah.
No, I just woke up and said, I want to go to Africa. I want to go. And that was like me trying to get myself out of that place and trying to figure out, okay, yourself, where do I belong? And so
that voice was just
and literally when I opened the book again, right before I left, I'm like, where am I at? And it's truly like, don't worry, don't stew, just go. You'll start happening too. It's another part that says, like, it's open there in the wide open air. What's open? Africa has the freshest air.
Beautiful, like, landscapes,
landscape, the quality of air, like, haven't been caught.
Life started here,
it was beautiful, and I was like, oh, okay. So it felt divine. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be at this moment, at this time.
Supposed to be here. I appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you.
And we thank you so much, the supporters, the followers, anyone viewing this. You heard what Kai had to say, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And beautiful. She's about to be on her journey to the next country, but we'll catch up with her. And you guys make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and leave any comments down below if you have any questions for Kai about her journey so far. And we'll see you soon in the next episode.
Thank you.